welcome back to Dinner with Friends, reporting live from the Hamptons. I am so excited to be here. I am so excited that you are here with me, virtually, emotionally, spiritually. The vibes are high and the margaritas are about to be flowing. Okay, first off, what the hell am I doing in the Hamptons if I'm not private chefing? That is a very good question. I am here because my team and I have rented this house for a few weeks while we are shooting some very, very, very exciting projects that are coming out later this year / next year. And you know, I figured if we're out here, I might as well shoot some super fun content, make the most of it, if you will. That's the end of the story. That is where it starts and ends. I did not buy a house in the Hamptons. That's it. We can call it the Wishbone Kitchen Hype House if that makes you feel better, because that's essentially how I like to think of it. So welcome to the Wishbone Kitchen Hype House. Let's host a dinner party. Okay, now before we do anything, we're going to have to go grocery shopping. And since I can't bring this whole big camera setup that weighs about 10, 15 pounds to the grocery store, iPhone footage will have to do. And I was thinking, since I already have all of these cute, adorable TikTok vlogs edited and ready to go, I figured I could just slip those into the YouTube video and catch you guys up to speed about what I've been doing outside of filming for YouTube, because like, you know, these vlogs kind of fill in the blanks for when this camera goes down and this camera goes up. So I present to you our first TikTok interlude. Also, I'm really only focusing on the dinner party that I'm hosting for Dinner with Friends, but simultaneously I'm hosting a group of friends for the weekend and I'm cooking them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So there's a lot going on that this specific YouTube video technically isn't privy to. And I feel like it's important for you to know what else is going on because it's a lot. So enjoy this TikTok interlude. I'll see you after. Bye. Day in my life as a private chef in the Hamptons. We are so back. I was cooking for 7 people this weekend, so I tried to knock out as much prep work as I could on Thursday, including most of the grocery shopping. My first stop was Round Swamp Farms. This was my first time here and I was so shook at everything. It was so premium. I literally had to hold myself back from buying the entire store. I got some local farm fresh snap peas and breakfast radishes to serve as crudités through the weekend, plus a ton of local fruit for breakfast, salads, and desserts. The prepared food section here looks so good. I need to try it at some point this summer. The chicken fingers here are literally famous. Insert the audio switching sides. Just kidding, we all know that I spend most of my money at farm stands, so there's plenty to go around. And I stopped by Cinderella for some meat, seafood, dairy, and more produce. Then I went to King Cullen for boxed goods and I snagged this stunning basil plant. Now you can't say I don't give you garden content anymore. The real tragedy of staying in this rental is the lack of a vegetable garden, but thankfully there are endless local farms here doing the hard work for me. This is also my first time cooking in this kitchen for a group this big, so I'm a little nervous, but I've cooked for these clients many times before, so I have a feeling it shouldn't be a problem. I've got some pretty ambitious meals planned for this weekend, and it's also my first time cooking 3 meals a day for a group this size since last summer. So you'll have to stay tuned for part 2 and see if I survive. Okay, cute. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. I have 7 of my best friends coming into town this weekend. We are doing a little taco themed dinner party tomorrow. There will be carne asada tacos, steak tacos. There will be lobster quesadillas, street corn, heirloom tomato, pico de gallo, big batch margaritas. There's gonna be a lot of stuff. I always try to go into these really prepared and I always end up not very prepared. But you know what? Sometimes that's how the magic happens. Anyways, we're gonna try to get some prep work done before my friends get here. Hopefully I don't get like insanely camera shy filming this YouTube video when my friends are here. Because I do get quite camera shy when other people are in the room. Today's prep list is, we are going to break down a lobster. We're gonna break down 2 lobsters because they didn't have broken down lobster meat. That's usually like my #1 hack. This is just already brought by the pre-shelled lobster meat, especially when you're in a coastal town where they like have that readily available. But it's a Thursday today and they were like, we don't have it. And I was like, break down a lobster, roast some tomatoes, make some chili lime sour cream, marinate our steak. I forgot cilantro and I think I have a flat tire. You guys, I know I always come onto these YouTube videos with like chaos and a sob story, but like I truly cannot make up. I'm throwing a taco party tomorrow and I forgot cilantro and I have a flat tire. And I'm in like the middle of nowhere with no walking distance grocery store. Whatever. Chop onions, soak the skewers for the grilled corn. It'll be fun. Did you see my haul? Oh my God, I went to the cutest farm stand today. Oh my God. Okay. I think I'm gonna start with the task. This is what we talked about in a different episode. When you have a list, when you have a to-do list, a good rule of thumb is to always start with the task you're dreading the most. The task I'm dreading the most is breaking down these lobsters. So we're gonna start there. Okay, so these lobsters are for lobster quesadillas. Oh my God. They're already dead and cooked, but the way they just slid on this sheet tray made it look like they were alive for a second, and it really scared me. Holy moly. Okay, well, they're getting a little close-up beauty moment right now because they look really cute. I forgot I'm also vlogging for TikTok, so say hi. And yes, I have to record on my phone and on this camera because it do be like that sometimes. First things first, break off. Ew. Oh my God, this one is huge. I hate that. Ew. This is giving me PTSD to my cookbook shoot. We broke down so many lobsters and they were so stinky. Don't do this with a knife, but I honestly feel like I shouldn't even include this in the YouTube video because this is like a safety hazard the way I'm doing this because I don't have my tools. Okay, I'm gonna break these down off camera because, okay, I got the claws done. That was traumatic. I could not have documented that and put that on the internet. Someone would have tried to do that at home and hurt themselves. I'm doing the claw or the tails now. Just get some kitchen shears, cut down the tail, pop it out. These are like fighting back today. I'm so mad at Cinderella for making me do this today. I walked in there and I was like, I would like 1 pound of shelled lobster meat, which I get from there all the time. They always have it for me in the little containers. They're like, we don't have that today. We have that on the weekends. We don't usually have that during the week, which I get it. They're like usually really slow during the week out here. And I was like, oh, well, can I place an order and come pick it up tomorrow? And they were like, we'll probably have some on Saturday, but like my dinner party is tomorrow night. And I was like, okay, well, I saw the steamed lobsters. I saw these cooked lobsters sitting on ice. And I was like, I guess, can I just buy those? And they were like, yeah. I was like, what the heck? And I guess like in hindsight, I should have just asked them to shell these for me. But I was already feeling a bit perturbed. And I was like half considering making shrimp quesadillas because what the heck? But I'm glad I like stuck to it, I guess. But at the same time, I'm like, screw you guys. This is like really putting a corkscrew in my prep day. And also like just my day overall. I did not feel like doing this today. Whatever. All right, here's my lobster meat. Can you even believe that's how much comes out of 2 lobsters? Is this like measly little amount? And those were huge. Whatever. Okay, I'm now gonna clean my station and we are going to regroup and start on our other mise en place. It is currently 1:43. I'm hoping to be done by this before 5 o'clock because that's when my friends get here, ish. We've already reached the stage in the programming where I need to sit down. I don't know, I think it's because I was cooking and grilling yesterday barefoot, but my lower back is killing me. I am just like so fussy, like a little baby today. It is like so embarrassing. We are going to slow roast these cherry tomatoes to go inside of the quesadillas. The reason we're slow roasting them is because the slow roasting process is going to semi-dehydrate them so that they concentrate in flavor, but they also are less wet, if that makes sense. Like, we don't want a wet, soggy cherry tomato in our quesadillas. We want almost like sun-dried tomato adjacent tomatoes in our quesadillas. We want these to be roasted and rich and full of flavor, but we don't want them to be like juicy. We want them to be still like a little juicy, but we don't want them to be like moist. We don't want them to make our quesadillas soggy. We don't want them to have too high of a moisture content. We want them to bring flavor. We want them to bring some acidity, some brightness. But again, we don't want them to weigh down the quesadillas with too much water. And for that reason, we are going to slow roast them, again, almost like a dehydrating process, and extract some of that moisture. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you with some science today, but that is what we are doing. And we also cut them in half so that we don't have a whole cherry tomato in there, because then if someone were to bite into a whole cherry tomato, they would explode and kind of like burst and like create this whole like water balloon popping effect, and that's not desirable either. So by breaking the skin and cutting them in half, you kind of like release that tension of like a burst cherry tomato. We've already burst it for you, and so it's not going to explode in your mouth when you bite into it. Again, I'm just always thinking about the user experience with my food. These are the things that keep me up at night. This quesadilla is actually inspired by a quesadilla from one of my favorite restaurants in Nantucket, Millie's Nantucket. It is a lobster quesadilla with roasted cherry tomatoes, zucchini, and that's pretty much it. And cheese, obviously. It's very like New England meets Tex-Mex sort of situation. But yeah, it's from Millie's Nantucket. Everyone asks if my dog Millie is named after the restaurant. But fun fact, the restaurant Millie's and my dog Millie are both named after the same person, Millie. Millie was actually a lighthouse attendant who used to man the lighthouse down in Matticat, which is the neighborhood that my family has a house in Nantucket, and it's also the neighborhood that Millie's restaurant is in. And she was the United States' last and only female lighthouse attendant. And so she was kind of like a pillar of the community locally and just like a badass girl boss. But yeah, that's who my dog is named after. The only female lighthouse attendant in the United States, or the last, I forget. Don't correct me. And also, like, yeah, don't kill my vibe if I was wrong. Millie's also has some just like really great like fusion food. We went when we were there. Fusion. I feel like the word fusion like just is a bad way of describing it, but basically They take a lot of New England inspiration and apply it to Mexican food, into like tacos and quesadillas and shit, what else? Yeah, tacos and quesadillas. So like scallop tacos, swordfish tacos, lobster quesadillas, that kind of vibe. My other favorite thing that they do is a shrimp taco with pineapple mango salsa. Very good. But yeah, definitely recommend. I've been in past years and it's been okay. Like the food's been okay. The vibes are always really great, but the food sometimes is okay. We went recently for Memorial Day weekend and the food honestly was so good. I was like, dang, they've been stepping it up. So if you haven't been to Millie's, if you're like a Nantucket like goer and you haven't been to Millie's in a while, give it another go. I don't know if it was like just the day that I went or what, but give it another go. They might surprise you. I have all these cherry tomatoes halved. I got these at the farm stand. I'm so excited about these. I have all of them halved. I'm gonna sprinkle them with a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of sugar. My oven is preheating. This is my very special Italian sea salt. I went on this whole long rant about salt on TikTok, and I talked about how this Italian sea salt that I buy from this specialty Italian online grocery store, called Gustiamo, by the way, if you have like a real passion for specialty groceries, check out the website Gustiamo. That is where restaurants like Misi Pasta sources a lot of their ingredients. That is where I bought this Italian sea salt. Literally, it's exactly what you think it is. They get salt water from the ocean in Sicily and they like get the salt water, they dry it out in the sunshine, and then this is the salt from the salt water. No one will ever notice the difference between me using Sicilian sea salt and kosher salt from the Stop and Shop down the street, but it makes me feel like romantic. I'm like, ah, like thinking about the ocean, thinking about Sicily. Makes me feel just like, it makes me feel like an artist. And I feel like everyone deserves to feel that way when they're cooking their food. But also I understand that it's like so obnoxious and so unrealistic. So I would never tell you have to do that. I'm just saying if that's something that you could spare an extra $7 on, go for it. It comes in a big bag. Like it's a pretty big bag. Oh, sugar. This is just gonna help kind of like caramelize the tomatoes. You could also do honey. Oh my God, the sun is coming out. This is such good news. It's pouring rain all day today. And I have a feeling that's why I've been in such a grumpy mood today. Sorry if I've been grumpy. I literally thought to myself today, I was like, I have been such a grump this week. And for what? For what? I hope my hair doesn't look like shit. But it's been torrentially downpouring. What's a girl to do? Okay. I did also drizzle them with olive oil. They're going in a 300-degree oven for 2 hours and 30 minutes. I got this recipe from the New York Times, and it is called Amazingly Sweet Slow Roasted Tomatoes. I'm sort of switching the recipe because I'm not exactly making the same recipe because I'm using it in a different application, but that's where I got the technique from. Next order of business is our next quesadilla filling ingredient, and that is, oh my God, I can't speak English, a zucchini. What was I saying? We're gonna cut up the zucchini and we're gonna par cook it so that it's not completely raw in the quesadilla. It's gonna give us a little bite, a little crunch in there. And we're gonna be eating some veggies. And it's summery. I don't know, I love zucchini. I know people are like, oh, it's flavorless. Isn't that like kind of the dream with a vegetable? That like doesn't really have a flavor? Like, I don't know. Dip it in your favorite dressing and move along. Don't get me wrong, I love my tomatoes, I love my eggplant, I love my radish, I love my like flavorsome veg, but at the same time, sometimes you want to get your vegetables in without really thinking about it. What is this doo-doo stuck to my Zukies? These are from Stop and Shop. What's everyone's favorite local grocery store chain? I feel like that is like such a niche part about growing up that I really underestimated. And that is what your grocery store chain was growing up. We were a Stop and Shop / food town, family / town. And then I come out east and the local chain, the local box store, if you will, is King Cullen, which is just like so funny to me. And it's just funny to see all of the different grocery store chains that exist around the country. Some people may or may not know this, but I went to college in Clemson, South Carolina. Go Tigers. And so I became very, very familiar with the Publix. I lived right around the corner from the Publix. So I would go there when I was sad because, again, grocery stores are my happy place. As a Brooklyn resident, I have now recently become infatuated with Wegmans, which, okay, people who love Wegmans, I get it. I do get it. Your feelings are valid, but you guys kind of need to chill out. You really do kind of need to chill out. In the most respectful way possible, I'm gonna need everyone who loves Wegmans to chill out. And here's why. I'm gonna need Wegmans to carry Bounty paper towels. If Wegmans starts carrying Bounty paper towels and Charmin toilet paper, then we can talk. Until then, I'm gonna need everyone to chill out with the Wegmans. Like, chill. Like, you can't act that way. You cannot act that way about a grocery store if you still have to go to a second grocery store when you're done shopping at the first grocery store. Okay? I feel the same way about people who like lose their mind about Trader Joe's. I'm kind of like, okay, they have pretty good snacks, but at the end of the day, it's the inconsistency for me. It's the needing to go to Whole Foods after for me. It's the not even carrying like garbage bags for me. Like, they don't even carry garbage bags. Not even a Trader Joe's garbage bag. I can't. I really can't. Whatever. Okay, anyways, what I am doing here is I'm scooping out the seeds. And that is similar to the reason why we are roasting the tomatoes. That is because the seeds have a ton of water content. What we don't want to do is fill our quesadillas with ingredients that have a ton of water content because we don't want waterlogged quesadillas. The center of zucchini is filled with seeds, is filled with water. The outside of the zucchini is nice and crunchy and delicious. So I'm just scooping the seeds out, very similar to the anatomy of a cucumber. Oh my God, I just remembered, I think I have a flat tire. I forgot. Ugh. That's so annoying. What do you do about that? Oh, frick. Okay, I have my zucchini here, chopped up nice and small and tiny. I'm going to give it a quick saute in a nonstick pan. I'm spreading these cooked ones out so that in one layer so they can release their steam as they cool. All about letting their moisture exit, letting the moisture out, encouraging all of the moisture out of the vegetables so that that moisture isn't trapped inside of our quesadillas. Okay, our next recipe, we are making a big batch of margaritas. A rule that I follow religiously is that I will never, ever, 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 ever use those little bottles of pre-squeezed artificial lemon or lime juice. Those little plastic bottles, they're disgusting. They are disgusting. You know they're disgusting. I know they're disgusting. We are not buying pre-made margarita mix. They're so gross. They're acid reflux. Oh my God, like, oh my God, they're just so gross. So I have this theory that I'm going to test out live with you right now, right here, right now. I'm hoping it'll work. If it doesn't work, I'll be really sad because honestly, I've been thinking about this for like a year. I'm like, this has gotta work. It's an easier way to make margaritas in bulk, and it is inspired by the beautiful people of Brazil. I don't know if you've ever seen videos for Brazilian lemonade or Brazilian limeade, but the wonderful people of Brazil get their blenders, and this is how they make their lemonade. They put whole limes, which by the way, you can eat a whole lime. You don't have to, there's no seeds in them. They put whole limes in their blender with some water, sugar, and sweetened and condensed milk and ice cubes. Blend it up, put it through a strainer to get out all of the pulp, and that's their lemonade. They're not juicing anything. They're literally just like ripping this through a blender and calling it a day. And so I thought to myself, what a really straightforward way to extract the flavor of limes into a beverage. You clever little devils. I wonder if that would work for a margarita, because I love margaritas. I'm usually making them for a large group. Again, I am always making them with fresh citrus. So we're gonna try the Brazilian lemonade approach in batching these margaritas. Also, I thoroughly washed these limes, and they're organic. Organic limes. And if I haven't mentioned this already, I'm completely skipping the sweetened and condensed milk because we're not making Brazilian lemonade, we are making margaritas. Oh my God, do you wanna know what I just had a brain blast about? If you live in New York City, what is the restaurant that serves fluffy margaritas? This is fluffy. What is that restaurant? There's a restaurant in New York City that serves fluffy margaritas. It smells so good. Wow. What is that restaurant that serves a fluffy margarita? Okay. I'm gonna strain this. I'm back. We're gonna do this again. We're fully committed because I'm in too deep now and it has to work. Tomatoes are done. Ooh, some of these got a little burnt. I'll show you later. Okay, so we have our margarita mix. In my defense, if I had the proper equipment, I feel like that would have been a fine process. However, since I didn't have the, the right sieve, that ended up being quite hellish. And I turned what would typically have been a fine, slightly time-consuming process into a pretty chaotic, messy, overwhelming process. But that's okay. I needed to see it through, and I did. And it didn't work, and that's fine, and that's what life's all about. It is still quite sour and bitter, and so I think what I'm gonna do is make a strawberry puree as well with some of the strawberries that we got at the farm stand, and make these into strawberry margaritas to sweeten them up a bit, because when life gives you sour limes, you make strawberry margaritas. I'm really trying to find the silver linings in everything these days, my friends. Okay, let's make strawberry margaritas. Okay, we have our strawberries. After this, I need to take a break and sit down and rest me legs. Okay, gorgeous. Should I make a mocktail? Okay, a little bit of strawberry on the bottom. I'm hoping this creates the fluffy margarita. It didn't. Strawberry sunrise. Oh, it's not really sunrising. Okay, well, I guess dreams do die. My life, whatever. Strawberry mocktail margarita. Cheers. It's pretty good. It's not that good. I guess it would be good with tequila. And more sugar. All right. I'll talk to you later. Hi, friends. Okay, it's time for the steak marinade. Oh my God, it just like blacked out. Sorry, I said I was taking a break and then I didn't, which is why I'm a wee bit loopy. I made the marinade. I have the steak here. TikTok vlogging and YouTubing at the same time is not all it's cracked up to be. So in here I have our skirt steak. I also have some freshly squeezed orange juice, freshly squeezed lime juice, a Corona, some sugar, some soy sauce, some chili powder, some garlic, this is gonna marinate overnight. I need to find room for this in the fridge. I'm gonna clean. Let's see where we're at with my to-do list. I feel like for the lack of energy that I have today, I got a lot done. I have to go back to Cinderella for more limes because I low-key hate the margarita mix I made. It's like honestly tragic. I can't. That's why I'm like so grumpy right now, because I spent so much time on that and I really don't like it. I'm mad at Brazil. It came out so bitter. Like my whole worry was that it would come out bitter from the pith of the citrus, and it did. It came out bitter. Whatever. But yeah, I might do some stuff off camera. I'll do my best to film it, but I will catch you on the flip side. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye. I'm back. It's time for another TikTok interlude. If you have been not paying attention and zoning out, now is the time to pay attention. We are going to do a recap of everything that I had prepped on Thursday, the day one, the day before the dinner party. We are also going to see some stuff that I had prepped that is not for the dinner party. This stuff technically exists outside of the realm of dinner with friends because, like I said, my friends are staying through the weekend, and so there's going to be additional food that I am cooking that will not be served at the dinner party, the dinner with friends dinner party. Okay? So, sorry if that's a little confusing. It's just like so many mouths to feed, so little time. So, I also feel like it's important for you to know that because had I only been cooking this one dinner party, I probably would have popped off a little bit more. Since I was cooking this dinner party and breakfast and lunch, there were some things that went wrong, and there were some mistakes that were made, and some dishes that weren't executed perfectly. And as a Capricorn, I feel like it's important for you to know that they would have come out perfect if it was the only thing that I was doing, but I was doing other things. So that's why they weren't perfect, is because I was multitasking. That's not a Capricorn thing. I think that's just a me thing. I love blaming my astrological sign on like my personal problems. And I'm not someone who's like, oh, I'm a perfectionist, because I'm not. I do many things badly. So I just am insecure. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. Okay, enjoy this TikTok interlude, recapping everything that I got done on Thursday. I'll see you after. Bye. Day in my life as a private chef in the Hamptons, part 2. We already went grocery shopping. Now it's time to get started on the food prep. My general rule of thumb is always start with the task you're dreading the most. So I started with breaking down some lobsters. Then I'll organize the rest of my to-do list by dish. The lobster, zucchini, and roasted tomatoes that I'm prepping are for quesadillas that I'm making for dinner tomorrow. Not all chefs organize their food prep this way, but it helps me from getting distracted and forgetting things. And I attempted to make margaritas using the Brazilian limeade blender technique because I didn't have a citrus press and I thought it would save me time. Well, this took me forever because I didn't have the right strainer. It made a huge mess and it tasted so bitter I couldn't even use it. I tried to save it by making a sweet strawberry puree to mix it with, but accepted the fact that I'd have to redo the lime mixture from scratch because it was just so bitter. It was cute though. Then I made a carne asada marinade and reached the point in the evening where I wish I could start drinking myself. But the beer is for the steaks, not for me. Oh yeah, and if you don't have a citrus press, tongs work great in a pinch. Wish I could have told myself that an hour ago, but c'est la vie. Caffeinating with some Celsius because we're not even halfway through my to-do list. I sliced some skirt steak into 10-inch pieces before transferring it into the marinade. Oh, and did I mention I'm cooking a taco dinner party and I forgot to buy cilantro, and I also have a flat tire. So yeah, this is the part of the day where I accept partial defeat and just push through. Cleaning transition that I never finished. Good. Now on to complete every chef's favorite task. Caramelizing onions. I probably spent about 20 minutes breaking these onions down and then another hour caramelizing them. Shout out to me for not procrastinating this task though. Next up, I got started on prepping a mac and cheese. This specific mac and cheese recipe is actually a Chick-fil-A dupe because their mac and cheese has been my most recent fast food obsession. And I have to say this came out so spot on. It's perfectly gooey and cheesy, and then I broiled it to get that crunchy cheesy top that it's famous for. It's literally the perfect mac and cheese, except next time I'm gonna look for slightly bigger elbow pasta. These were a little tiny, but I'm gonna put the recipe in my newsletter this week. Finished with a layer of extra cheese, obviously. Now I'll be here all night waiting on these onions, so come back for part 3 to see how everything turns out. Plus the client reveal. Okay, how was it? Was that fun? Great. All right, enjoy the rest of the programming. I'll see you later. Love you so much. Okay, welcome back. We are outside because all of my friends are inside, and again, I'm camera shy. We did a little pool day today. I cooked us lunch. We did burgers and mac and cheese, which was fun. But yeah, it's time to cook dinner. We're gonna assemble the quesadillas, grill the tacos, grill the corn. First things first, I need to make the dipping sauce for the quesadillas, the sauce for the tacos, and the sauce for the corn. And then after that, assemble the quesadillas, grill the steak, grill the taco. Well, assemble the quesadillas, grill the steak. Nope, grill the corn. Assemble the quesadillas, grill the corn, grill the quesadillas, grill the steak, and then I eat. Okay? Okay. Okay, everything's ready. Not everything went to plan, but that's okay. I think everything came out pretty decent. I'm gonna bring everything out and try to take some pictures, but the sun did set, so we don't know how that's gonna go. I'm gonna drink a ton of rosé and try to have some fun because I'm a little stressica Simpson. But yeah. Private chef client reveal. That's right, I'm back cooking for my besties. What else is new?
Day of my life as a sous chef.
Basically, my team and I are out here for the next few weeks while we work on projects that are coming out later this year and next year. And on the weekends, I'm making the most of it. Cosplaying as a private chef for my friends, apparently. So we started off the day with a pop-up bagel breakfast. I defrosted them by first running them underwater and then baking them in the oven. This crisps up the outside of the bagel while keeping the inside nice and steamy. I served them with heirloom tomatoes, cucumber, red onion, lox, capers, chives, dill, the works. Now don't forget to season those tomatoes with salt and olive oil. After we were done eating, we all got changed and ready for a pool day, and I got started on lunch. It was really hot this day and I wanted to make a salad that would stand up to the heat, so I knew I didn't want anything with lettuce that would get all wilted. I ended up making a sort of pickle inspired salad with a dill pickle infused ranch dressing, cucumbers, and celery. It was nice and cold and crunchy and paired perfectly with all the other dishes we had, like the baked mac and cheese that I had made the day before. This was inspired by the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese, which I am obsessed with. I also made some burger sliders and hot dogs because we all agreed that the ideal ratio is half a hamburger and a hot dog, and this way no burgers need to be halved. And obviously I made extra of everything because we're growing girls. Those caramelized onions were a labor of love, but honestly they were so worth it. Then we had spritzes by the pool before showering and getting ready for dinner. I made strawberry margs for everyone using the local strawberries that I got from the farm stand. So cute. Then I got started assembling some lobster quesadillas. Now I had the bright idea of wrapping these in some foil and throwing them on the grill so I didn't have to stand in the kitchen alone frying them in a pan one by one. Did this method work? Yes. Was it perfect? No. Now I'm posting a YouTube video tomorrow where I'll go into more detail about this meal specifically, but let's just say it didn't go as perfectly as it may seem. Once the corn and the quesadillas were done, I threw the steaks on, covered the corn with foil to keep warm, and the quesadillas stayed warm in their little foil packets. Then while the steak was resting, I started plating the quesadillas. I chopped them up into thirds and just put them back on the sheet tray. These are great because they also can go in the oven. I quickly sliced up the steak and finished the corn with my lovely sous chef. Now obviously I try my best to get everything to the table hot, but when I'm just cooking for friends and family, I really don't stress about it as much. And if anyone throws shade, I'll just point them to the direction of the microwave. Now on a real note, it is so surreal to have my childhood besties here with me in the Hamptons, giving them the princess treatment they deserve. And while things may look a little different on the surface as my career is evolving, deep down nothing's really changed.
Summer.
Okay, we're back. Number one, the margaritas tasted like booty when I tried to do the Brazilian lemonade trick. Apparently, you're not supposed to blend the limes to death. You're supposed to like pulse it. Blending them to death releases too much of the bitterness and the pith. That's why I went wrong. I already posted the thing on TikTok and everyone in the comments was like, girl, you're not supposed to blend it that much. But like all of the recipes that I found online didn't say that. They just said blend. They didn't specify that. So that's why I went wrong with margaritas. I'm gonna redevelop the recipe to just have like freshly squeezed lime juice. That was an example of me trying to be too creative and like too out of the box, and I just like made my life more difficult. Lobster quesadillas. The recipe itself, delicious. The technique I used worked, except remember all of that effort that I put into not trapping steam inside of the quesadillas? Well, since I so tightly wrapped the foil, guess what got trapped inside the foil? Steam. Steam. After all that, cue the montage of me talking about trapping steam inside of quesadillas. Oh my God. I swear, I literally like started crying in the middle of the dinner party because number one, the cheese got stuck to the tortillas themselves did not get stuck to the foil because I did a good job of like greasing them, which was great, but the cheese itself got stuck to the foil at certain moments, and like I was struggling to get them out of the foil. Only like a few of them. I was being dramatic. Like, let's be so effing for real. I was being dramatic. But the first one that I went to take out of, number one, so much steam was in there. So like, first things first, it was like wet and soggy when I first took it out. Strike number one. Strike number two, the cheese was stuck. So I'm like trying to get the cheese out, and I'm panicking. My friends are trying to make small talk with me, and I'm like, I'm sweating. I'm trying to take it out. And like tears streaming down my face thinking about how many hours I've spent like taking the lobster out of the shells, screaming into the camera about steam. I've got a steamy, hot, wet, soggy quesadilla stuck to the foil. The cameras are rolling. I'm about to call this whole dinner party off because the quesadillas are stuck. They were fine. Eventually the steam like released and they were fine, but they weren't crunchy. The next day when we reheated them in the pan and we pan fried them, they were crunchy, they were delicious. But I will say like the technique for like grilling the quesadillas was pretty clutch. I was able to make so many in one go, but I need to do some more research on a better foil wrapping technique. I'm wondering if I could just like not close the edges and like leave them slightly open. I don't know. I really didn't even Google like how to grill a quesadilla. I just made it up. I was like, oh, I bet if I like wrapped it with foil. Cause you know how some people like lay foil down on their grill and then they just like grill on top of the foil? Which by the way, I thought I made that up. Last summer I posted a TikTok like grilling hack. Did you know that if you lay foil down on your grill, you can grill on top of it? I got flamed in the comments. They're like, girl, people have been doing this for years. Like, this is a very well-known fact. I had to delete the video. I thought I made it up. I didn't know that like that was like a thing people do. I've never seen anyone do that before. I didn't know that you could put, like I've seen my mom do like an aluminum foil packet of potatoes, but I didn't know that you could just like make an aluminum foil like hibachi grill on your grill, whatever. Anyways, so that's what went wrong with the quesadillas. That's what went wrong with the margaritas. And then for the steak, I couldn't prep the poblano sauce the day before because I didn't have cilantro. There was no cilantro to put in the marinade. And also the marinade that I made, I based a lot of the measurements for the marinade off of a recipe for Chef Roy Choi's carne asada marinade. And I mean, I did take some creative liberties, and this is gonna be one of those things where like, people are like, oh, I tried this recipe, except I subbed this for this, I doubled this, and I took this out, and then I switched this, and I didn't like it. I basically did that with his recipe, and I didn't like it. But I changed like so many ingredients, and it like didn't hit. It like kind of tasted weird. So back to the drawing board with that recipe too. And the whole point of these vlogs, these Dinner with Friends vlogs, is like I want to be able to publish the YouTube video and then you can go to my website and cook all of the recipes. But like I gotta go back to the drawing board for all of them. And so I'm like, was it a failure or was it a learning moment for us all? I guess it was a learning moment for us all, but I hope that it was premium content regardless. I hope you enjoyed watching me struggle. Like, dang. Returns to the Hamptons, gets her butt handed to her, I guess. I'm humbled. Like, I am truly humbled. I will say, like, all of this aside, like, it was delicious. It was delicious, it was delicious, it was delicious. But there's a difference between, like, me being really happy with a meal that I'm eating with my friends or my family, and then being really, really excited and happy with a recipe and wanting to publish it on the internet. So yeah, TBD on which recipes I'll be publishing from this episode. Oh, and I completely forgot to make like the dessert. I like completely forgot to make the dessert, and I completely forgot to make the heirloom tomato pico de gallo, which I'm like watching back the intro. I think I clipped the part of the intro where I said, and then for dessert, I'm making this. I just like cut that part out because I was like, I don't need someone calling me out saying, wait, where's the dessert? I forgot to make it. So I forgot to make the dessert. I truly just like forgot. And I truly forgot to make the pico de gallo. Whatever. So yeah. I bet I could just like show you the footage and be like, everything was great. Here are the recipes. And then like people would make the recipes and be like, oh yeah, these are yummy. I could do that. Maybe I should be doing that. Am I a bad food blogger for like revealing all of my insecurities? I don't know. I need to see a therapist. I really do. All right, I have so much work to do. So I need to cut our chat short. I'm so sorry. I wish we could talk forever, but we can't. So I love you endlessly. I will be better about YouTube. I am so sorry I fell off. Again, life happened. And by life, I mean the cookbook. Dang, that stuff is hard. Oh my God. Again, I'm not gonna stand here and complain to everybody about it because it is truly the biggest blessing and I can't wait to write 10, 20, 50, 100 more cookbooks. Like this is something I am so passionate about and I want to make a career out of cookbooks. Like this is like what my life's calling truly is. I believe that to my core. But dang, those things are hard. Like, you think I'm being critical of myself standing here about a taco dinner party I threw for my friends? Picture how critical I am about myself, about recipes I'm putting in a book that's going to be printed and existing in the universe for forever into eternity and I can't take back and it's just going to be out there for forever. Just picture how insane I am about that. Scary stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be better. There will be new episodes once a month. I'm committing to once a month. If we get bonus episodes, we get bonus episodes. But I don't want to overcommit. The goal is once a month. That was always the goal, okay? New episodes of Dinner with Friends, once a month, promise. Pinky swear. I can't wait to share better recipes. Check out my grilled chicken parm recipe. That slaps. That slaps no cap. Okay? All right. Have a great summer. I'll see you next month. I love you so much. Love you. Bye.